spine-tingling, blood-chilling story that stuns your emotions. Frankenstein.
Lightning, 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 lightning. It's alive! It's alive! Hi, welcome to Bomb Squad Matinee. I'm your host and master of ceremony, Tanner Richard Crafton. Today I'm joined by a lot of fucking people, so let's start introducing them. First off, we have...
Hi, I'm Austin Zwiebelman.
Hello, I'm Cody Suizo. I don't know where my abnormal brain went. Have you guys found it?
Insert young Frankenstein joke here. I'm Joseph Vernick. I'll probably make one later.
I'm Rein Converse's monster.
I'm Sydney Russell. Continue. No funny jokes here. I don't have anything to say.
I'm just Sydney. That's all I have to say about that.
Me.
We're not the Reds.
There we go.
Oh, awesome. Good. Okay.
And there
And
have
you
it.
couldn't tell by my "it's alive" thing. Today we're talking about not one but two movies, but they're both under an hour and a half long. So we're really just kind of doing one big long movie, considering how interconnected these movies are. But today we are covering the oldest movies we have ever covered on the show, which is Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein from 1931 and 1935, respectively. Some of the most iconic movies ever made. Very important movies, movies that I love, but we'll get into that later. But before we get into those movies, we have our classic warm-up question. For the love of God, people, try to make it a little snappy, considering there's so many of you. But for our warm-up question today, I ask you the question: what's your favorite movie from before 1950? Now, I know that this is an especially difficult question for one of you because you seem to especially like older movies. So, Cody Suizo, what is your favorite movie from before 1950?
Oh man, this is a struggle, man. Can't even say Mac and Me anymore. This sucks.
Got him.
Well, I mean, I'd say King Kong, but like I literally did a whole episode like yucking up about that. So I'll say Fritz Lang's Metropolis from 1927. One of my favorite movies of
Son
all
of a bitch,
time.
you stole half our answers.
Yep. Just grab the lowest hanging fruit.
We can erase that. I could say Buster Keaton's The General instead. I love that movie as well.
You stole the other half of our answers. No, I'm kidding.
I just love old movies, man. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
God, that's a good pick. Fuck.
Good answer, Cody. Since he sounds stressed out, Austin, what's your answer?
Meshes of the Afternoon. I'm a big Meshes of the Afternoon head. I heard my film professor say male gaze, and I was excited to finally be represented. Then I found out there weren't even any guys in the picture. But it was still pretty great. One of the best early examples of husband and wife art ever made. Back to you, Tanner.
Good answer. Rein, what's your favorite movie from before 1950?
Yes, I've had quite a busy day, so I did not have a chance to check the group chat. I forgot to be like, oh yeah, I bet I should see what the warm-up question is for this episode.
So you just now
I was quickly going through my letterbox and was like, favorite movies, old-timey. So I think it's currently four-way tie between The Red Shoes, Bicycle Thieves, Scarface, and M. Actually, no. Three-way tie. M, Bicycle Thieves, Red Shoes. I don't know. Red Shoes, what can you say? I mean, one of the most beautiful movies ever made. Maybe the best use of Technicolor. Bicycle Thieves, what an emotional time. I bet you could show this to the most like ADHD rattled zoomer and they'll be have feelings by the end. Or if not, then I don't know, anti-Italian discrimination. And M, I don't know. I feel like that one. I don't know. What can you not like? What hasn't been said about M? It's
The other Fritz Lang masterpiece.
Yes, the other Fritz Lang masterpiece indeed. Probably. Fuck, that's a hard one to talk about. I hope that's not going to foreshadow the rest of me talking about movies this episode. All right, I'm done. Back to you guys.
Great answer. Vernick, what say you, my good sir?
All right, so I had a challenge with this one because a lot of the pre-1950 movies that I love are either like obvious picks or they're Universal monster movies. And there was a strong chance that I was going to pick a Universal monster movie, so I challenged myself. I was like, okay, what's a movie that's not a Universal monster movie? By the way, if I went with that, my pick would be The Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
But
also
no,
directed by James Whale.
Yeah. damn fucking great movie too. It's very fucking fun. Watch it if you haven't. But no, I went with a different pick, and it's close to the cutoff because the year is 1945. It's inspired a feature script that I've been working on for several years now. It's 1945's Brief Encounter. Good romance movie that makes me fucking cry every goddamn time. Really makes me fucking cry, given the circumstances of my first time watch, which I watched that movie for the first time as my engagement was collapsing. So there's some strong ties with that one for me. Not as strong as Spider-Man 2, which was the movie I watched when that engagement ended. Fun fact there for you. But we're not talking about Spider-Man 2. But that's my pick. We already did that one, yes. Watch that when you're done here. But that's my pick. Brief Encounter. Good movie. If you've never watched it, watch it.
Good answers. Just to quickly piggyback on that, my movie I watched as my engagement collapse was the 2019 Lion King. So I'll just put that out there in the world that my life sucks more than yours.
You brought that on yourself. Let's be real. I was on a
family vacation to Disney World. What was I gonna do? Not watch the new Disney movie?
You brought that on yourself. It's all your fault.
Victim blaming. Tim, what's your favorite movie from before 1950?
So I do want to start with a note because we're all Webster students, so we all took history of film with Mr. Pete.
I don't know if Cody got that far.
I did. It was one of the last classes I took.
When I took that class, like the first day, the opening question was very similar to this. It was like, "What's your favorite movie from before 1960?" And where do you
think I got the idea from?
Yeah. I bring that up because one of my classmates answered Friday, like the Ice Cube movie Friday. But I just think that's extremely funny, especially because Pete was just like, you know what, Friday's cool, I'll let it pass.
So that means it passed here.
Fuck it. It's from 1959 now. Ice Cube's an old man.
Yeah. But anyway, my answer to this question, outside of Metropolis, obviously, is Dziga Vertov's Man with a Movie Camera.
Holy shit!
As a filmmaker who tends to gravitate towards more like experimental kind of editing stuff, this movie just kind of floored me when I watched it. It's just an absolutely nuts, like, some of the craziest editing I've seen in a movie pre-1930. And, yeah, just an absolutely fantastic, like, experimental kind of movie. Man with a Movie Camera. Check it out. Back to you, Tanner.
I don't know why, but when you said most experimental editing you've seen and you said pre-1931 or whatever, I, for some reason, I don't know why, expected the next words out of your mouth to be pre-9/11. Don't know why.
Never forget Man with a Movie Camera.
All right. Sydney, judging from your reaction, I think Tim might have just stolen your answer. I can't tell. But what is your answer if you have to think on your feet now?
I'm going to say The Passion of Joan of Arc by Carl Theodor.
Yes!
That's
I still need to see that
one of the first ones. It comes to my mind mostly because I very much watch a lot of things for the acting. I know that's not always a film take because I know there's a lot of like individual components that make a movie, but I'm watching Falconetti act the fuck out of that movie is an incredible experience. But other ones that come to mind are The Best Years of Our Lives, which I actually watched for the first time in Webster Film at one point. I loved it. Also, I was gonna say Man with a Movie Camera. Tim, how dare you? But M is also really good. I love, my favorite movie of all time is from 1953. It's Tokyo Story, so I'm gonna say an Ozu movie that came out before 1950, which was Late Spring from like 1948, 49. So I'll say that one as well. Back to you.
All good answers. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going to ask you all to send your answers to me so I can add into my Letterboxd watch list. I'll be perfectly frank. At least 2 of those movies you guys have said I have never heard of, which maybe reflects poorly on me. I don't know. Once again, I know it's funny that I struggle with this question considering I'm the one that fucking came up with it. Tim brought up how Pete used to ask in the class, what's your favorite movie from before 1960? I remember taking history of film. You want to know what my answer was to that question? It was Bride of Frankenstein. But again, that's one of the movies we're covering today, so I'm not gonna pick that one. So I have my all-time favorite movies list I made on Letterboxd pulled up here. There's 199 movies on here, and I opened separate tabs for all the ones from before 1950. There's a lot of great movies on here. I could be boring and say Citizen Kane. I could be an animation boy and say Fantasia. Fantasia is fucking amazing. Especially if you watch the version with that one part cut out.
Oh, I thought you were going to suggest the opposite for a second.
No, please just. I think it's hard to find a version without that part cut out. So don't go out of your way to find it. It's not good, but everything else in it is amazing.
Just Disney Plus. Just Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus it is fine. I could say one of the most iconic movies of all time, The Wizard of Oz. There's a couple of Charlie Chaplin movies on here, like Modern Times or The Great Dictator. But you know what? Joe loves calling me a boomer lately. I don't know why. It's a thing he's loved doing. So in the spirit of that, I'm actually going to pick the oldest movie on my favorite movies list. It's from all the way in 1920. And it is arguably a precursor to the movie we're talking about today, and is still, in my opinion, one of the most iconic horror movies of all time. It is The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
There it is. Also would have been my choices.
I fucking love The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I've got to see it on a big screen, I think twice, at least once, but I think twice. At Webster. It's so beautiful to look at. The expressionistic paintings and the set design is just so mind-blowing. Unlike Sydney, I also like watching movies for the acting, and I think there's some really good scene-chewing performances in this one. And honestly, movie makes me cry a little bit. Not even entirely sure why. It just does. I haven't seen it in a while. I need to rewatch it because I fucking love The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Bro, hit me up. We'll watch it together, man.
Yeah, fuck it. Come over here right now, baby.
All right.
Podcast over. We're watching The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. No.
Celebrating its 105th anniversary.
Ooh. Party at Tanner's place.
Damn straight. So if I had to pick a favorite movie from before 1950, I guess I would say Doctor of Cabinet. The Doctor of Cabinet? Awesome. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Except if I really wanted to pick one, my answer would still be Bride of Frankenstein.
There we go.
So let's get right into it. Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, it's a double feature, but these movies flow into each other kind of really seamlessly. So much so that, I mean, Bride of Frankenstein has a previously on the OC at the beginning of the movie, which is kind of cool.
Hey, that's my bit!
Yeah, fuck you, I stole it.
You motherfucker!
Eat my ass!
Everybody's stealing shit from me today!
Eat my ass!
Fuck you!
Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, 2 great movies. At least I think so. I imagine we all think so. Fuck, there's 7 of us. I hope we all like the movies. If one of you came on here just to shit on it, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! In the name of God! Now I know what it feels like to be God!
So in that spirit, Austin, we'll start with you. What do you think of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein?
I gotta like double time this. I wrote this for like 3 people on. Okay, so as somebody who's never seen these movies or any of the classic Universal monster films, I think they hold up well if you personally carry any kind of reverence for tracing the cinematic origin of ubiquitous horror icons like Frankenstein's monster and his bride. Now, that may not be most people, considering lots of folks might not want to watch movies that were made before Technicolor, let alone a movie that dropped the same year as The Microscope. But one immediate upshot for today's viewers, Tanner already mentioned this, Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein, if you play them back to back, it's about 2 hours and 26 minutes. Each one is barely longer than an hour. If you watch them both of these classic movies, instead of Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, you actually save yourself 4 minutes. Another aspect of these movies that might, entice people in 2025 is the fact that these movies are technically in the canon of queer cinema, with the director, James Whale, being an out gay man in 1930s Hollywood. He was basically the only guy brave enough to do that, with the only other known homo in town being My Fair Lady director George Cukor. Except Cukor's gayness was kind of like an open secret protected by his close friends, whereas Whale was straight up living with another man like it was Great Depression Fire Island. Whale's unique transparency about being a gay man was enabled by his success, first on stage and then at the motion picture box office. He came into Hollywood kind of like Orson Welles. Hot shit coming off of the back of the wildly popular production of Journey's End. A play that was so fucking good, it made the careers of every single actor involved, and every other World War I play made in the 30s was weighed against this play. Catching back up to the thing we're actually talking about here, he earned Universal $12 million with Frankenstein, a movie shot for $291,000. If you adjust these numbers for inflation, that would be the equivalent to a director making $254 million today on a $6.1 million budget. He earned Universal its money back 41 times over. The closest modern equivalent I could find was Terrifier 2. That had a 60x ROI. One thing that's delightful about both Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein are the openings. In Frankenstein, Edward Van Sloan, the actor who is later seen giving the eugenics presentation about brains, he comes out and he breaks the fourth wall like he's William fucking Castle. At the time, this was actually a continuity thing. The original theatrical release of Dracula ended with him giving a similar curtain speech, although that footage has been lost ever since it was cut for the 1936 Hays Code re-release. The Edward Sloan speech in Frankenstein was added after test screenings where audiences were so utterly demolished by the picture that Universal executives figured a theatrical disclaimer might help distance the studio from the film's shocking content. Then in The Bride of Frankenstein, you have a prologue featuring Mary Shelley, Percy Shelley, and Lord Byron chewing all the scenery. Like the rest of the film, the production code had a fucking field day with this. They forced James Whale to cut a line about how the three were infidels and scoffers of marriage ties. And apparently there were some shots of Elsa Lancaster's boobs that were simply not fit for America's Catholics. At the same time, the intro of film 1 and 2 really illustrate the difference in how James Whale tackled these projects. Frankenstein starts with a warning that this shit might give you nightmares, and Bride of Frankenstein is like if a fucking theater company wandered onto the set of the first movie and just picked up where they left off. I'm on the same side as most film historians and Tanner. The Bride of Frankenstein is the better of these two movies. Beyond the campy, kind of self-aware tone, the sequel also restores the monster's ability to speak, as he does in Shelley's original novel. There's also an unrepentant villain, played to perfection, by, Ernest Thesiger, I can never say that guy's name, who adds an enjoyable shitload of melodrama to the picture. As an ironic counterpoint to the playful tone, Bride has exactly twice as many kills as the first film, and believe it or not, there was originally double that amount. According to film preservation legend Scott McQueen, this movie had 21 kills in it before Joseph Breen hacked the screenplay up with an axe. All this is to say there's just more. The film makes you feel more emotions. We get to see Frankenstein react to many different situations. The director's queer background is more evident in the intro and Pretorius. The ending's more powerful and bombastic. It's kind of incredible to think The Bride of Frankenstein was something that Whale would consider the B-side of a one for me, one for you situation. He'd been turning down Universal's plans for a sequel since before the first Frankenstein even came out in theaters, but only when he needed leverage to make one more river did he finally cave and give Carl Laemmle Jr. the shit he wanted. Whale had always held his horror pictures in low regard, and yet they've endured past the majority of films from that time in Hollywood's early history. Like, here's an exercise. Look up the top-earning films of 1935. I bet nobody in this chat could name a single one. Swear to God. But yeah, to bring it home here, Frankenstein brought Universal back to life after the Great Depression almost, destroyed the entire studio, and The Bride of Frankenstein improved on its predecessor in every single conceivable way, even though the director basically made it out of spite. These films were shocking for their time, with some scenes being censored for like half a century. These films were exceptionally well made by B-movie standards because, like the first Hellraiser, they had an unstoppable gay guy at the helm. If you're a fan of film history or Frankenstein's monster, I'd absolutely recommend these, especially now that we have this 4K restoration from the excellent folks working under Peter's shade. 6.5 out of 10 for Frankenstein, 8 out of 10 for The Bride. Back to you, Tanner. It was a mistake to make me go first. That's you.
Sorry
I
to
ask-
put you on the spot like that. Go
Can I
ahead,
add
buddy,
something
real quick.
I just wanted to add something because you mentioned something about like the curtain call at the beginning with
Yeah.
both Dracula and Frankenstein. That might be a holdover from Phantom of the Opera because they do kind of the same thing in 1925. It's not like a curtain call, but they have like the Lantern Man come in, and, with all the dialogue that's like cut off and lost to time. So it might be a holdover from that sort of thing because they did that like a good 6 years before they did those two movies.
That rocks. Good pull.
Yeah, I
Very
just immediately
cool.
thought about it.
That's what we pay you for, Cody.
Cody, that's why you get the big bucks. No bucks.
Yeah.
All right. Joe, hit us with it.
Oh dear God! I'm gonna try and keep this quick because I mean, look at how many of us there are.
It's not that
Both movies are fucking great. They are both, in my opinion, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 masterpieces. Arguably the best of the Universal monster movies. Which one is better? You could tell me either one. I'd be okay with it. I did get to see both of these movies. I own the 4K restorations of them, but I did not get to see Bride of Frankenstein on the big screen yet. I hope to rectify that one day. But I have seen.
You and I both.
I have seen the original Frankenstein at believe it or not, that's not where I'm going, Tanner. No, I got to see it at the
story.
I got to see that at the Alamo Draft House. I did a triple feature. It was a Halloween, and I did a triple feature. It was Solo Frankenstein, and then it was a double feature that we had of the Wolfman and the Mummy. Solid, like, triple feature Halloween night at my work. Definitely recommend doing a triple feature of Universal monster movies if you absolutely can. Something that I want to praise Frankenstein in particular for, and seeing it on your home television does not really do it justice. Something that you need to just witness it on a big screen for. The fucking set design in this movie is, in both movies, honestly, fucking insane. Like, Jesus Christ, these sets are, like, not only, like, extremely well detailed, but they are just massive. Like, Jesus H. Christ. Like, I shit you not. Like, I was just in complete awe watching it at the Alamo, just, like, taking in just how big these goddamn things are. Honestly, a lot of modern movies today, in my opinion, like, they don't hold a candle to just feeling as big as, like, Frankenstein does, like, half the time. And we would do all this in the volume. There, I shat on the volume again. Fuck the volume. Good movie. That I think that's my biggest thing that I wanted to bring up was the set design. Everything else that's a positive for this movie, I've already said. I've not already said, but has already been said numerous times before. What more do I fucking need to say about Boris Karloff? What more do I need to say about Elsa Lancaster? It's a classic. If you've never seen it before, definitely check it out. And do what Gene Hackman does in the sequel and have his favorite thing. Cigars. Yeah, there we go. That's my Young Frankenstein reference. that's the one I go with. Have an espresso as well. Wait for the espresso. Anyway, Tanner came to this movie at the Winnie Moore Auditorium. Back to you, Tanner.
So what had happened was we were watching Frankenstein.
Wait.
And when the monster finally showed, okay, so first off, I was sleeping through most of the first 20 minutes. I was really tired. But then somehow woke back up just in time for Frankenstein to come on screen for the first time. And I don't remember doing this, but everyone around me claims that apparently I audibly went, when Frankenstein, when the close-up of Frankenstein happens.
He fucking moaned like he came in his pants.
He did.
I shit you. I was horribly disturbed the whole fucking movie. Like, the movie is scary, but it's even scarier when you think your friend sitting right next to you came in his pants at the sight of a...
sitting right next to you who was snoring 5 minutes ago.
At the sight of a fucking corpse coming to life, you fucking necrophiliac.
Fire good.
Holy shit.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's go to another witness of those events.
Oh, thank God.
Rein Conversi. What do you think of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein?
Yeah, so, more or less, I don't think there's going to be much disagreement or anything super crazy hot takes. You know what, let me get this one, just nothing to do with the overall quality of the movie, but, I get, like, on the scale of, like, scientific discoveries, I guess reanimating dead tissue is a bigger deal than this, but, why has no one... I've seen the original Frankenstein, original Universal Frankenstein. This was my first time watching Bride of Frankenstein. Why does no one tell me... Yeah, well, the world's a big place, Tanner. You got only so much time to watch everything. Why... Anyway, yes, I get making a dead body. That's a big deal. Probably a bigger deal than this. But, like, why does no one talk about the little people? The little jar people? I didn't know, like, the other scientist was, like, Brainiac or whatever. Like, what is this?
Kandor?
Yeah.
They just did that to flex the special effects, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know why the fuck that scene's in there.
I was for, like, a good 10 minutes after that scene, I was like, wait, no. Stop talking. No, the plot.
Back to that. Hold on. What's going on there?
According to the synopsis, they're called homunculi. Want to make sure that's known.
Oh, naturally, but of course. What the fuck else would you call
This
them?
is actually a prequel to Mothra. Those are the Mothra fairies.
No, I'm telling you, they're Kryptonians. That's the bottle city of Kandor.
Sorry, I got Superman on the brain. Yeah.
Wonder why.
That's my... That's my, I guess, like, my only, like, fresh thing I'm probably going to have to say about these movies. Love them both. Atmosphere off the charts. Set design, like Joe said, off the charts as well. Overall, bigger fan of Bride of Frankenstein. I have not read the original book, but I did really... There's only so many books. The world is a big place. There's only so many books to read.
You were forced to read it in high school. I was, like, twice.
I
had to read that book for 2 different classes.
No, a lot of the books you're supposed to read in high school, I didn't end up reading. Anyway, but you know, I know of the story pretty well. I appreciate how they adapted some more stuff from that. You know, that they weren't able to get to in the original film. A little disappointed that, you know, like, such an iconic horror monster like the Bride of Frankenstein, maybe one of the most, like, fun visual designs for, like, a classic monster. You know, that she's barely in it. I think I was told that before, but I forgot by the time I was watching this. And yeah, this isn't really a complex analysis. This is just kind of me coming off whatever's coming to mind right now. But yeah, just kind of does everything a little bit better. And just another thing I appreciated while on this rewatch / first time watch was for both movies was just kind of like watching like pop culture, like the birth of like certain, you know, big facets of pop culture, because like so much of like what we see as Frankenstein is, you know, from these movies. From my understanding, the book, it's like more like, it's a lot more vague and almost like a similar to like the silent film Frankenstein, where it's like almost like, man, that the really cool effect where like they like kind of like reverse like a like some sort of like thing melting where it's a skeleton, and then I don't know, like where it's like kind of like made through like some sort of like alchemical vat. I don't know, I thought it was, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's fun seeing getting on the ground floor and just seeing it almost as like a historical document of like a pillar of pop culture. Which is, you know, if you don't like, I realize if you're not into older movies, I mean, I like older movies, but if you thought they were bored, maybe try and appreciate them in that respect. I don't know. I don't know. Talking around the movie and talking about like bits and specs of the movie, not really giving a grand thought on all of them, because I don't know. It's I don't know, of all the, I haven't seen any of the sequels for any of the Universal monster movies. This is my first time seeing a sequel for them. But of the, you know, I've seen the original ones for like, you know, each of all the major ones. Definitely, I think for me, Frankenstein stands out the best. You know, in its core, I think it's just great for the best atmosphere out of all these movies, as along with you know, the creepy atmosphere, but with a very strong, sympathetic performance from Boris Karloff to really elevate it, I think, past like something like Dracula or The Mummy, which, you know, Boris Karloff was also in. So yeah, great times, great movies. I think the highlight of this iconic era of horror, and you should watch it. And also, it's really short, so yeah, just get on it. Back to you, Tanner.
I think out of the universe, the classic Universal monsters, or tell them if you would, the widely considered two best movies, I believe, are Bride of Frankenstein and The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
That's the impression I've always gotten. Some people would also throw in Dracula or the first Frankenstein, and I really like the first Frankenstein. I'm not here to deliver hot takes, so I won't say much about Dracula. But
Dracula doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold
Bela Lugosi's fucking amazing in it. I'll say that.
He is.
Yes. The only, yeah.
True.
All right, Sydney, we'll go to you next. What do you think of these pictures?
Okay, so I'll start this by saying that I was at this infamous screening where this happened, and where the event happened, and I don't remember it because I don't think I was sitting close to you, because I don't think
you
I
were on
really
the
knew
other
you.
side of the theater. God
I
bless
think
your soul. You didn't
I
have
think
to
I knew who
experience
you
that.
were, but I didn't really know you at the time. So I just wanted to just clear your name that not everyone there heard it. So.
Thank you. Good God.
I definitely
I can
didn't.
rest easy now.
Yeah.
I was also at that screening, and I don't think I heard it either, but I can't remember if I was sitting next to you guys.
To be fair, Tanner was very quiet about it, but
You
I
were directly-
fucking heard it
yeah.
because I was right
Joe
next
and
to
Rein,
him.
I'm pretty sure, were both sitting next to me. So,
I was like a few rows ahead.
oh God, that's not.
Okay.
Joe,
but-
was that the day? No, it was after that. Never mind.
Yeah, we won't talk about that because clearly we're past that day.
No, I know. I thought it might have been the same day for a second.
Actually, come to think of it, it might have been, but that's
Motherfucker.
besides the point.
That was the breaking point. Sorry, Cindy. That's an inside joke between him and I. Go
Okay,
ahead,
I was
Cindy.
like, I'm missing something. Okay. That screening was actually the first time that I had ever seen it. The first Frankenstein. I remember I did not care for the first one at the time of that screening. But I think there are a couple of reasons. One of them being that I read the book in high school, and I really did firmly mentally attach myself to the book. I thought a lot of the more existentialist, vague, esoteric themes of the book and within the character of the creature are just kind of not present in the film. There is a certain level of it for sure, but the book is called, Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus, so there are a lot more biblical levels of existential dread within the creature that the movies cannot have the time to give to the creature of this agency to the creature in the film. So it was definitely, my opinion on the film was clouded by my own, well, I didn't like this as an adaptation, so I don't think this movie's very good. I didn't like it. I rewatched it tonight, and I did like it more because I think I'm just learning to embrace it as a film for what it is and not for what I think it could be or what I think it should be. My main gripes are that I think a Frankenstein film can really, 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 really be elevated by an amazing Henry/Victor Frankenstein. And it's not that I found this one to be that bad, but I feel my bias comes through because I love Hammer horror and I love The Curse of Frankenstein and I love Peter Cushing as Victor Frankenstein. And I think I saw that before and I was like, well, this could be this vision of it in my head instead. But then that being said, I remember watching bits and pieces of The Bride of Frankenstein over the years, but this was the first time that I really sat down in a long time and watched it. And I loved it. It's amazing. It is amazing. And it's not that I think the first one is bad. I just think that this one expounds upon the themes of the first film in a way that is more akin to the book. I liked the scenes with him meeting the blind man. That is so touching, and just his need for closeness, for human contact. Because what's so interesting about the book is that the creature is someone who can, in the book, have full conversations. He's eloquently spoken. He calls himself Adam because he is the first man. He is like the first of his kind. So then you see a Boris Karloff take that is so diametrically opposed to what the book is. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it, but I have come to appreciate it as its own thing, and I understand its cultural relevance. I remember, I realize and I accept and I appreciate its place in pop culture history because it really is unique and it's its own thing, and I get why in like pre-Hays Code America, like why this would be the thing that would be freaky to someone more so than like what Mary Shelley was writing in 1816 or whatever. And I also loved, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I also loved the beginning scene of the Bride of Frankenstein with the three of them just chit-chatting, and I loved their I like the what you said, Austin, about them being infidels and not being written into the script, but I liked that. I also liked that they were sitting together in a way that was reminding me of Challengers, because I was like, now kiss, which is not the point of the movie, but and yeah, the Bride of Frankenstein, Elsa Lancaster, what is there to say? She's so cool. Her looks are amazing. It's just a 101 in iconography, and how to make a costume and a character that can just really be instantly identifiable and recognizable and be, copied over time and given homages to over time a million times over. And it's just really cool to see something that I was like, ooh, I'm a little lukewarm about it, just go from like this to go, whoa, it's way better now. I love the character of the doctor that is not in the original book. I just feel like it was just really, really fun to watch, and I really love that actor's performance. Edward Thesiger? I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
I believe that's right.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
Ernst Thesiger, I think. He had a funny
Thesiger.
old-timey name.
Yes, that guy would have that type of name. It's cool. But yeah, I love that. I felt like it, despite it maybe being really like theatrical, I feel like the movie really, really benefits from that. And I feel like he gives what maybe he's a foil to Dr. Frankenstein in a way, because they're both evil in what they do, but they're both very different about how they feel personally responsible or don't feel personally responsible. So yeah, it's an interesting duo of movies. I'm really glad that this was my excuse to just watch it again and really take it in this time and not be like having my preconceived hang-ups about it. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff. Fantastic stuff. I do want to just quickly touch upon the fact I have also read the novel. I had to read it for different classes in high school. I love the novel. It's fantastic. I also think something that maybe helped me transition from the novel to the movies a little better is the fact that in the first of the classes I had to read it for, we read the novel and then he showed us the movies. I think having it so close to each other allowed me to not build up expectations in my mind based off of what the book was. I don't even think I finished reading the book when I watched the movie. So just an interesting thing there.
And it's not like you really got spoiled, because they are very different. And the Bride of Frankenstein,
very different.
The Bride of Frankenstein takes a like kind of almost like a one-off idea that is mentioned in the Frankenstein book, where the creature is basically like, hey, why do I have to be the only one like this? I think I should probably get a companion. No? And Victor /
I didn't ask for this shit. At least sweeten the deal for
yeah,
me,
like
man.
at least make this like a little bit better for me, bro. And Victor / Henry / whatever, Dr. Frankie, if you're nasty, he gets very like absolutely not, and then he spoiler alert for a 200-plus-year-old book, but
200-year-old novel.
Yeah, he does. The creature does kill Elizabeth in the book, out of spite. So because he's like,
Womp womp.
"Where's my bride? You don't get a bride." So very different to the original ending of, to the film ending. It's very different. So
Yeah,
Joe,
from what I
you're raising your
understand-
hand.
I am, yes, because I wanted to bring up a point before we went on to the next person, because Sydney mentioned Curse of Frankenstein, also good fucking movie. I think you and I were the only people that actually liked it in that class.
I loved it.
Tim did. I know Tim did.
I was okay on it. I need to revisit Hammer, because that's like that and Horror of Dracula. I was like, I like these fine, but I need to give them another shot.
I
You know
second
what?
Tim's opinion.
I didn't care for Curse of Frankenstein only because similar to how Sydney's opinion of the novel festering over the years influenced her opinion on the movie, I had seen the original Frankenstein movie years before I saw Curse of Frankenstein. So when Curse of the Frankenstein wasn't just Frankenstein, that I didn't like that because Frankenstein was already perfect to me.
Well, either way, what do Curse of Frankenstein, Blood Feast, and The Exorcist have in common? Most people in that class fucking hated it.
People
I don't
hated
think
The
most people in the
Exorcist?
class hated Exorcist.
Yeah,
I think
I
that was
didn't.
one guy that had a really bad opinion about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's one guy with a bad take.
It has a bad Rotten Tomatoes score, so whatever. Anyway, Tim, getting back on topic,
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, what do you think of them?
So, I've seen the first Frankenstein movie a handful of times. This is my second time watching Bride of Frankenstein. I think they're both very good. I agree with the general consensus that Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein are kind of, the higher tier, like, Universal Monster movies. I might like The Invisible Man more, like, just as a movie, but I think there's...
I love the hijinks he gets up to in that. Sorry, I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that about the Invisible Man. I love the invisible hijinks.
Yeah.
Such a dick.
Like my fiance's friend was talking about like how in the novel the Invisible Man is just such a it's a like she was saying it was like a boring read because like he's just an asshole. And I'm just like, yeah, he's an asshole in the movie too, but the movie's cool because it's got special effects.
The cigarette thing
Yeah.
when he like sits in the chair and like, it's fucking incredible. It's insane they did that in the 30s.
The fucker
it really
derails
is.
a train in the movie. How can you not love a movie that derails a train?
Yeah. So that one might be better than the book, just because there's the visuals to go with it. I don't know. But that Frankenstein, anyway. Yeah, I think there's just there's a lot of really good story stuff there. We've all been talking about Boris Karloff, incredible in the role. We've also brought up the runtime of these two movies is just very nice and tight. Like it all comes together in about 2 hours, 24 minutes, which is just a couple minutes longer than Batman Begins, which we did an episode on a couple weeks ago. Yeah, these are very good movies. I do think I might like Bride more. I think it feels like Bride has more to say. I guess kind of what Sydney was going on. I haven't read the novel, but yeah, it sounds like it's exploring some of the more interesting ideas from that. The one bit of the movie that really stuck with me both times I watched it was that scene that sequence with the blind man with the violin. Like that just always stuck out to me as just a very good part of the movie, because we finally see him having a friend, and there's some funny conversational stuff where he's just like, oh, smoking's good, and
Cigars.
yeah,
Fire!
it-
Smoke. Good.
smoke good. Yeah, the
Doctors say.
fucking they were going after the DARE program in 1935 with this one, smoking good. But yeah, no, that sequence is great. It all kind of culminates in just a really tragic ending that kind of just ties into what the overall through line of these movies is, which is that like the monster just kind of has existence thrust upon him, and then in his existence, he's just hated and reviled, and everybody wants him dead. And then when he's finally given a companion, even the companion is horrified by him.
Who can relate? Woo!
So he's a very tragic figure, which I think just makes him a really interesting creature, really interesting character. Like, we all know the shtick of knowledge is knowing that Frankenstein wasn't the monster. Wisdom is knowing that Frankenstein was the monster. But it rings true. These are great films, very significant films. It was crazy because, like, if you watch the credits of movies, they'll always have like the MPAA certificate. And right now we're at like 55,000 or something. And at the beginning of Bride of Frankenstein, it was like MPAA certificate 768. I was like, damn, that's a low number.
That's nothing.
But yeah, good picture. Decent amount of killing. Didn't love the killing. That poor kid. Like, that's the scene that really sticks out in the first movie, is the first kid being thrown into the river and drowning. Like, that's just horrific. But it's just very good, iconic movies, and glad we get to talk about them. Back to you, Tanner.
That long, tracking, unbroken shot of a father carrying his child into the village.
Yeah.
And, you slowly see people react and realize what the fuck he's doing, what the fuck has happened. Especially that section where he just walked by a bunch of kids that were playing that, like, kind of sort of slowly stopped playing. Holy this was 1931.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit. There are movies coming out right now that don't have anything that fucking cool, whatever in them. 1930 fucking one. Holy shit. Cody, are you trying to say something, or are you just waiting for me to call on you?
A bit of both, honestly. What adds to that scene a lot is that that's like one of the, like, that and like the prelude where they show like all like the whole town celebrating. That's one of the only instances in the movie that has like actual music in it. There's very little to no music throughout, and I'll talk about that a bit. But the fact that, like, you have that, you know what you're getting into, and then you have that scene where he's just walking and the music slowly dies out. It is a haunting fucking scene. It's one of the greatest scenes.
And again, 1931. That's fucking insane. Like, I got into a conversation recently where someone, a friend of mine was saying Citizen Kane's boring, sucks, whatever, fine. You're allowed to have that opinion. I'm not saying you're not allowed to have that opinion. If you don't like Citizen Kane, you don't like Citizen Kane. But someone tried to say, oh, what made Citizen Kane important? And this guy said, well, it was the first movie to have, like, moving shots and stuff. And I'm like, no, that's not right.
No.
And then I said that wasn't right. And then they asked me what does make it unique and special. And this is better served for a conversation about Citizen Kane. It's actually a very difficult question to answer, I find. But to a layperson, to someone that maybe doesn't know as much, it's a difficult question to answer. Anyway, this movie's fucking insane. Cody, you're the old movie guy of the group.
Yeah, and you made me fucking last in this? What
I
the
know,
hell?
I did it on purpose. It's
my punishment for talking shit about Jaws.
I wanted you to be like...
Cody, you're new here, but you'll learn very quickly that on the show, Tanner's a fucking asshole.
Cody, I value your opinion and respect you as a person. Please tell us your opinions.
No. It's all good. Like I said, I talked shit about Jaws last time, so I deserve all the shit I get. But, man, what a daunting film to even talk about. I mean, it's Frankenstein. Like, one of the most important characters, one of the most important films of all time. Like, it's probably the most important film to, like, science-y, like, horror, as Dracula is to, like, traditional horror. By the way, this movie laps around Dracula, not even close. I'm gonna say that shit right now. Frankenstein's way better than the original Dracula.
Hard fucking agree.
I will
maybe that's not a hot take, but
I will say, check out the Spanish Dracula.
I know there's a Spanish
1931.
version.
That shit
I've heard it's a
rocks.
lot
I've heard
better.
the Spanish one is better. I've never seen it.
The thing is, like, I guess they were shooting them both on the Universal lot at the same time.
Yeah, basically at the same time.
And the Spanish actors were like seeing what the American actors were doing.
And they have like differences. They have more scenes in the Spanish
they were
version.
watching what the American actors were doing, and they were just like, "What if we made this a real movie?" So it's worth checking out. I do still think Frankenstein's better though.
Yeah, Frankenstein. Well, I think because I kind of learned why. Because this was like around the time when talkies were becoming a thing. You know, right in the mid-20s to early 30s was when the talkies started coming around. And mixing like vocal audio and background audio was not very easy at the time. It was a very complicated process. So that's why a lot of films at this time didn't have music. I remember when I saw the Dracula originally, and I'm like, man, this doesn't have music. This shit's ass. What the hell? Of course, I learned to appreciate it. And Frankenstein does, for the most part, not have music, with the exception of the little wedding scene that I talked about earlier. That's like the only exception. But for somebody who's not into like older films like this, it can be a little hard to sit through those, like that especially the first half, where it can be a little boring at times. You know, especially you just kind of like, you know, it's just audio and walking and talking. But I don't know, I kind of get sucked into it, like I'm like there, like I'm like sneaking behind a door, like just watching Fritz grab the jar, then drop it like a fucking idiot. He doesn't even like react, he just goes, it just drops.
Hey man, another day at the job. He is not paid enough to put up with Henry Frankenstein's bullshit.
True, dude.
He's probably not being paid. He's probably a weird indentured servant.
Yeah.
This does take place in the early 1800s.
That is true. Yeah, I think you know, out of all the things I've been hearing about, I don't think a lot was mentioned on the actual like characters, especially Frankenstein and his monster. What an interesting like main character Frankenstein is. You know, to basically get driven insane with this goal of creating something bigger and better than yourself, to prove immortality to be real. I mean, you know, the famous scene, you know, when he basically says, now I know how it feels like to beat God, which, you know, everyone knows, you know, the lightning strike is supposed to kind of censor it. I honestly think it adds to that scene a lot. It kind of almost sounds like God's like, shut the fuck up. I will strike you down. There's
you do not know the shit you just unleashed, brother.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight to it. And, you know, there's a lot of mania to Frankenstein, to the point where it's just like, even though he has like the most important thing in his life coming up, which is like his wedding, you know, the monster is always in his mind. It's always there. Even when he can't control it, he's always thinking about it. And, you know, I think that's like, you know, that's like a very like profound lesson for like, you know, like human history, you know, just chasing this wondrous task that you can't ever truly achieve, except he did achieve it. And it didn't work out the way he did. And that's where we go to Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, or I'm sorry, according to the opening credits, it's Frankenstein? Yeah, they don't credit him until the ending.
I love that about both movies. The first movie says, I don't fucking know to the monster. Second movie says, I don't fucking know to the bride. I fucking love that. Sorry, go ahead, Cody.
No, it's really funny. I love that scene a lot. Did they do that with Dracula as well? I think they did that with Dracula, but I don't remember.
Maybe.
But
I don't recall them doing that for Dracula.
Yeah, we ain't talking about Dracula. We're talking about Frankenstein. And yeah, he is such an interesting and a tragic figure too, because dude, he literally just woke up. He's alive now. And like, imagine like, yeah, it's like a pre-used brain, but just imagine, you know, you're basically like kind of set at zero, you know, new game plus, and you got this new body you don't know shit about. And now you're being put in a cage and you can't speak or think or do anything. Like, that's like you can't even imagine that. And the way that Boris Karloff like portrays that sort of just like confused innocence is so like tragic. It's like, it's something that just can't really be replicated easily, especially with, you know, the iconic scene where he throws the little girl into the water, you know, completely accidental. You know, he didn't want to do that. It's such a terrifying scene.
How the fuck was he supposed to know the bitch don't float?
He does.
Just stealing the top Letterboxd review for that joke. I'm just putting that out there. Not my joke, not my idea.
No, you're. You know, he's basically like, he's like a creature to like everyone else, but he's still human. And that's kind of what makes the tragedy at the end of like Frankenstein so like, you know, sad, when he's trapped in like the windmill, trapped with his creator, kills him. What a gnarly fucker, hits the windmill on the way down. He did not go down smoothly. Like, god
a
damn.
fucking loser.
happened to me personally.
And then the whole thing burns down.
Skill
You're just like, it's weird because like if Frankenstein was just Frankenstein on its own, like I think it's almost a perfect movie. Like everything is like nailed to perfection. Besides, like maybe they could have had a bit of score, but that was beyond the time. If it say if they made a Frankenstein like I don't know 4 years later, they could have made a perfect Frankenstein. Wait, shit, they did. It's called Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes, sir.
Now this is my first time watching Bride of Frankenstein, and initially, in the first 10-20 minutes, I was kind of like, it gave me the. It was a little like cheesy at the beginning, where it's like, oh, but Frankenstein didn't die. He's alive, and so is the monster, and they're gonna cause more wacky hijinks. I was kind of like, okay, so they're doing very sequel-y things, and I'm not like a big fan of sequel-y things. But then that fucking hermit scene kicks in. Oh, I don't even know if I can. It's one of the most emotional. Like it changed the way I think about Frankenstein forever. Like that scene changes everything about how you know. Like obviously he's a monster trying to be human, but like the human really comes out in that scene, and it's like you want to see him like not be the he's like, oh, monster kills people. Like you want to see him like win at the end of the day, and then have that ripped away from him too, and then just get thrown into a dungeon. It's so painful to watch, and it's like you feel bad for him because he doesn't know what he's doing, and that's what leads to one of the what's his name? He's got the most villainous Doctor. What is Doctor
Pretorius?
Doctor Septimus Pretorius. Full fucking name. What a piece.
Sounds like an STD. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, the DSP. Don't catch that.
I got SP, man. It's fucked.
I thought we were talking about Frankenstein, not Reanimator.
Talk about Frankenhooker.
Villain's got the same name in Reanimator.
So we're talking about our Frankenbeans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, but Pretorius is such a good foil because in the original you're like, oh yeah, the Frankenstein, like Dr. Frankenstein's the real villain. But then he's like, no, this is a real evil fucking doctor. He makes little munchkin men. He's gonna make you make that fucking monster. You're going to do it because I kidnapped your wife with your monster because you suck so much. And it's like you feel bad for Frankenstein as well because he just wants he regrets learning the answers. He just wants to get the fuck out of this, but he's stuck. Once you make it, you can't unmake it. First rule of anything you make, you gotta make an off switch, and he never did. So then he's kind of coaxed into making the bride. And I know someone mentioned that the bride not showing up for a very long time was kind of weird and off-putting. And initially I thought that was too. But honestly, I think the fact that the perfect thing for Frankenstein is just like this glimmer of hope immediately he immediately gets cast away by said glimmer of hope, only for him to take away said glimmer of hope, I think speaks stronger for the movie than just having him reminisce with them for 12 minutes. Because I know, it's a little bit of a bait, especially for a movie called Bride of Frankenstein, but it's just, I think it makes the monster's struggle so much more potent, and to let Frankenstein and his wife leave, but to take out Pretorius and his creation, who he deems is bad, is I think it's a powerful ending statement for that movie.
I do want to touch on something real quick. The whole it's called The Bride of Frankenstein, but then Bride of Frankenstein doesn't come in until the very end of the movie. That might be the problem that I was having the first time I tried watching Rosemary's Baby. I thought the baby was going to be in a lot more of the movie, and it wasn't just going to be the whole thing is leading up to, oh, it's the Antichrist.
Very comparable. But, I mean, these are two movies with, very little flaws. And especially with Bride, where you get a full, score now. Everything feels more, important. It feels epic. Watching these back-to-back, only 2.5 hours long is crazy. And they will never let you get away with an hour and 15-minute film nowadays. You talk to a big exec, they're throwing you out the fucking window. Hour 15 is crazy, but I think I'm yapping for a bit too long, so I'll end it with this. Movie. Good.
He's got it. He's got cigars.
Love movie good.
Friends good.
Sorry
He says that.
about that. Cody, all fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Hold on, I was not looking. Where'd the cigar come from?
Oh, that's really funny because in the middle of like when you guys talking, I reached for it here, so you're gonna watch it in the. I'm like turning back here, trying to grab it and like sneak it under the desk so nobody saw it.
Okay, Frankenstein, great movie. Love that Frankenstein. Fucking flung that bitch into the water. Crazy, devastating shot of him carrying the kid through the graveyard. I don't give a shit. I'm here to talk about Bride of Frankenstein.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein is one of the greatest movies ever made, and it is a fucking masterpiece that I love more and more every fucking time I watch it. Holy goddamn shit. They would kill you for trying to make a movie like this now. They would fucking take you out back and old yell your ass. That's what they would fucking do if you're trying to make a movie like this shit now. Okay? This shit is fucking amazing. Okay, where do I fucking start? You guys all kind of like sort of drizzle-drazzled around it. I want to get right into it. Boris Karloff gives one of a top 10 performance in cinema history in Bride of Frankenstein. All time. Top 10 all fucking time. Do you understand? Here's the thing. That seems hyperbolic, but like, think about it. He's playing this thing that doesn't fucking exist. There's no reference to what Frankenstein's monster is in our real world. Do you know how much of like the way we imagine zombies nowadays are in large parts based off of a lot of Boris Karloff's mannerisms making these movies? Mm-hmm. How much of what we consider you guys know Under the Skin, the Scarlett Johansson movie?
I'm familiar.
Great
This is a
movie.
relevant comparison. Scarlett Johansson is playing something really alien in that movie. And I think it could be difficult to see the masterfulness of her performance because there's no reference point for us. But you never question her in that movie, and you never question Karloff in this movie. I've seen Boris Karloff in other movies. He is a great actor. He has given great performances in other movies. He has never given a performance as good as he does as Frankenstein, as monster. It's fucking spectacular, the things he is doing. He is inventing archetypes, stereotypes in front of our eyes. Okay, it has been almost 100 years, and his mannerisms, his movements still influence the way we view and see monsters in art. I can't think of a greater legacy to have as an actor. All right, I still have another 50 minutes of rant to get through. Here we go. Tim, I'm kidding. Tim,
Thank you for tuning in.
No! Colin Clive's, am I saying that? Colin Clive, his performance as Henry Frankenstein. Here's the thing about his movie. Obviously, he's an evil man. But I think a lot of people, when they're watching Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein for the first time, they think Bride of Frankenstein, maybe this isn't common, I've just seen a few people express this, makes him seem less evil. I think it's not necessarily that he's less evil. It's that in Bride of Frankenstein, he's a fucking coward. Okay? The whole goddamn movie, his wife to be, fiance, I don't fucking remember if they get married or not. He's like fucking begging him, hey babe, can you stop with the whole reanimator shit? I didn't like that movie much, and I don't like that you're trying to recreate it. I don't like this reanimation shit. Can you do it? And he goes, oh honey, I know it's wrong, it's evil, it's disgusting, I won't do it. Dr. Pretorius hangs around and is like, hey, Daddy Big Dick's in town, let's go reanimate some shit. And Henry hops on that dick like his life fucking depends on it.
Well, his wife's life depends on it.
I don't think it's about that for him. I think Pretorius didn't need to threaten anything. I think Henry would have broken down and given in no matter what. Because he's a fucking coward. He's a spineless, slimy fucking coward. And Colin Clive plays it so fucking perfectly. All right, he hems and haws. He's like, oh, but we mustn't. Oh, but we mustn't do this. And then he fucking does it. He's a little pussy ass bitch that wants to do it. He's just pretending like he cares. Because he's a fucking coward that's incapable of fucking looking himself in the mirror and fucking admitting what he is. Because he's a goddamn coward. All right, makeup all around is incredible. Gonna put that out. Makeup's incredible. Set design's incredible. But for me, it's... Bride of Frankenstein's about a lot of things. It's about the price of playing God. It's why humanity shouldn't play God. There are a lot of religious themes in this movie that I think only hit because society in general was a lot more religious 90 years ago than it is now. The movie as a whole is rather quote unquote blasphemous, with the exception of the scene with the hermit where the monster prays. And it's one of the most deeply touching religious acts I've ever seen in a movie. And the contrast between that and the rest of the movie being, again, quote unquote blasphemous, it's a powerful contrast to me. There's so much emotion and power bundled into this little movie. There's the queer allegory stuff, the hermit and the monster. Maybe that's what it was like for two gay men to live with each other, and the whole world reacts once they show themselves. Pretorius and Colin Clive, they kind of have a little gay thing going on. There's like, Pretorius is flamboyant. Flamboyant, I know what you are. Is rather flamboyant. And there's a lot going on there that I think really, you know, there's the queer allegory that James Whale insists that he didn't put any gay shit in his movies. I don't think James Whale realized he was putting that gay shit in his movies. I just don't think he knew. The price of playing God, but for me, I think there's a lot of stuff this most recent viewing about how none of us asked to be born. We didn't ask to be what?
You just signed the right paperwork. But continue.
I'm sorry, Rein is in the Mr. Nobody universe where he's the one guy that remembers what it's like to be before being born. Rein Conversi's Jared Leto, folks. You heard it here first.
Hand hovering over then call button.
Meanest thing I've ever said to you. I'm sorry.
True. Sorry, continue.
We didn't ask to be born. We didn't ask to be made. We didn't ask to be created. And because of that, I do believe that parents have an obligation to their children. Henry Frankenstein's a fucking absentee father trying to be a deadbeat dad, pretending like, oh, I don't fucking know. I didn't ask to be a dad. The fuck you do. Takes two to tango. You and your little fucking hunchback little assistant guy, you know, you both fucking made this thing. Fucking own that shit. God, I'm sorry. I'm really scatterbrained right now because there's so much I want to say. I can't emphasize enough that this is one of the best movies we've ever talked about on this show, because again, it's fucking amazing. You know, how Boris Karloff, you know, all he wants is a friend. Obviously, this is a horror movie, but it's a dramatic picture about just wanting a friend, and he thinks he has a friend in a hermit until the world drives us away. So he asks, there's a lot of like, I know it's called The Bride of Frankenstein, but to me, I almost think about more like, do you remember being a little kid and asking your parents if you could have a brother or a sister?
Nope.
I think this is a thing that a lot of us went through. I went through that. Maybe Brain's like, I didn't fucking want that shit. I asked to be alone. I heard my mom was pregnant and I said, get that shit out of here. That's what Rein was like. Rein was like, I don't like this. Get it out.
Bride of Frankenstein, yeah.
There's a lot of that, but I also think there's it's kind of multifaceted in the sense that we don't want to be alone. We want a sibling because we don't want to be the only child. We want a partner because we don't want to face the real adult world alone. There's nothing, this is such a stupid thing. I can't find a better way to phrase it. There's nothing lonelier than being alone, which, you know, no shit, but who's more alone than Frankenstein's monster? The whole world has written him off because he was thrust into a world of rules he doesn't understand. If God forbid, a 6-month-old accidentally shot and killed somebody, I don't think we'd be going around the village saying, kill the baby, kill the baby, kill the baby. Baby doesn't know any better. Frankenstein's monster doesn't know any better. The Bride, though, when you get to The Bride, first off, Elsa Lanchester might be one of the most beautiful women to ever live, and the costume design in this movie is impeccable. The makeup design of this movie is impeccable. It's so iconic. A lot of people complain, oh, the bride only shows up for 3 minutes, but you remember her. You remember her, because for as little screen time as Elsa has as her, she plays it perfectly. It's similar but different to the Karloff's whole like discovery, taking in the world for the first time. The way she just looks around. Oh, reminds me of the head movements of a squirrel trying to comprehend the world around her. It's very innocent. It's childlike. It's so.
It was based off a swan.
I could believe that. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. And it's so wonderful, her performance, and how her roar, her guttural roar when she sees the monster, and just Victor's immediate response to be like, listen, fellas, to get a little deep and personal, man, when I was a teenager, I maybe had some suicidal ideation. I went into some dark places, and I don't think I can relate. I was in a dark place when I saw The Bride of Frankenstein for the first time, and there was something relatable about the monster coming to this profound realization that he was a mistake. And that, you know, that whole, you stay, we belong dead, is very, it's very, yeah, I know, shut up. It's so heartbreaking to me. This creature that honestly has only tried to make friends and has only tried to love and has only, you know, tried to exist as a man and was so rudely rejected as one, realizing that he was a mistake and it's better to burn it all down. It's just heartbreaking to me. It's such a tragic ending that literally rips my heart out. And I know I spent the whole thing talking about how Henry Frankenstein's a coward, and I do think he's a coward, but I also don't think he's a completely irredeemable person like Pretorius is. And I think it's kind of wonderful that the monster recognized that by saying, no, you get out of here, go live your life. The rest of us, we're the monsters, especially Pretorius, who was like Henry cranked up to 11. God, I'm so scatterbrained. There's so much I want to say that I can't, because honestly, a lot of you guys kind of already said it. And I just, it's a perfect fucking movie. It's one of the greatest fucking movies ever made. I love it more every time I watch it. It packs so much into its little 70-minute package. It's remarkable. Please see it if you haven't. I hope I get to see it on the theater one day. It played at Webster, I think last year, but I was busy when they were doing it, so I wasn't able to check it out. So I'm hoping they do that again sometime. Maybe the Alamo will get it. Maybe the High Point will get it. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care what theater plays it. I just hope a theater plays it, because it's an amazing movie that deserves to be on this biggest screen possible. Okay. Very, very quickly, before we get into final thoughts, is there anything burning that someone wants to say before they like wrap it up? Just we maybe have time for like 2 quick things if anyone has something.
The pacemaker was invented because of Frankenstein, the wearable pacemaker, the battery-powered one. The inventor was like, he saw Frankenstein and he's like, bringing people to life with electricity, that's what I want to do. And so in 57, the fucking pacemaker dropped. The big invention.
I thought Tony Stark invented the pacemaker in a cave with a box of scraps.
Beat me to it.
As soon as you said with, I was like, my time. This is mine. Hello.
I was gonna flub it anyway.
Yeah, I can tell because you already skipped in a cave. Yeah. Anyone else have something they want to bring up really quickly?
I thought you were giving your final thoughts, TBH.
Cody, bring it up real quick.
I'll bring it up real quick because I just saw it and it gave me a chuckle. I don't know what this really means, but it basically, you know, because obviously this film got censored a lot. Kansas. I guess the entire state of Kansas said...
Oh, are you talking about how they asked for so many cuts that it cut the movie in half?
Yeah. They basically said, oh, your hour-long film, 30 minutes will do.
Ooh.
They asked to cut out... I can't imagine that the version of the movie that would emerge from that would be comprehensible.
There's no way. It's not even a feature-length film anymore. It's a short film. I just thought
challenge accepted.
You know, there was a test footage of Bela Lugosi playing the monster.
Yeah, he had to survive. It was more like the Golem.
There was a 20-minute reel film.
Like
none of it survived.
Damn.
There is apparently, obviously, Bela Lugosi later played Frankenstein in one of the movies, or the monster in one of the movies. And from what I understand, there's like a poster that exists from the original screen test that looks really fucking different from the version we'll know and love. It kind of looks more like the Wolfman, if anything. It's kind of interesting. Okay. Nobody has anything more to say. We're going to move on to final thoughts. We managed to keep this relatively short, mercifully for Tim. Tim, what are your final thoughts on Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein?
Yeah, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, excellent classic horror movies, absolutely landmark films, deeply important films. Some of the best stuff from that classic Universal Monsters era. Definitely worth checking out. For some fucking reason, you can't stream these right now. They should.
Why aren't these on like Peacock?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Why aren't they on Peacock? They're Universal.
Why isn't it on the cock?
Yeah.
I want to watch this on the cock.
But you can rent it on. They call it Fandango at home now. I know it is Vudu, but you can rent it on whatever rental.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Also, you can watch it on the Internet Archive, which is how I watched the first one. Bride of Frankenstein is on the Internet Archive, but I couldn't get it working. But there's a 240p copy uploaded to Vimeo, and that's how I watched Bride of Frankenstein. Mostly because I wanted to watch it quickly, and I didn't have time to download math homework.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, it's
You're nuts.
Definitely check it out. Whatever way you can, it's definitely available. A pretty quick, tight watch for both of these, and yeah, excellent films. And while I'm here, just to do a quick plug, since we're talking about a horror movie, if you live in the St. Louis area, Hysteria Fest is this weekend, and on Saturday, July 12th at 6 p.m., they're going to be playing a film called Play Along, and me and Tanner are going to be hosting a Q&A session with one of the actors. So tune in for that. If you're in town, listen to us ask questions and get answers. And you can ask questions too. So yeah, Hysteria Fest, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, good spooky shit. Back to you, Tanner.
Fantastic stuff. Austin, final thoughts.
This is one of those rare situations, like with the two Evil Dead movies, where the first one's a classic that sparked a lot of change, but the second one's even better. You can come at this with historical analysis or queer analysis, or like just plain old being fucked up and wanting to watch something cool, and you'll be rewarded with lots of great material. Frankenstein is still a very worthwhile watch, almost 100 years later. I can't say that about Mutiny on the Bounty, can I? Highest grossing movie of that year.
You made that up. No, you made that up.
Yeah. James Whale, he caught lightning twice. Back to you, Dave.
Dude, if you count The Invisible Man, the motherfucker did it thrice.
It's true. And Showboat, a movie he would actually want us to remember. You know,
it's so funny that all the movies he cared about are probably honestly really forgotten. I'm sure they're great because these are great. Or at least they're worth watching.
Watch
Rein.
Gods and Monsters.
Or no, Tim, say your thing.
Watch Gods and Monsters, a biopic on James Whale. Good picture.
Ian McKellen was nominated for an Oscar for it.
It's so uncomfortable.
It's directed by Bill Condon, who later went on to write The Greatest Showman. Tell me, do you want to go? Rein, go ahead. What are your final thoughts?
Okay, but like, how did he make them so tiny, though?
I told you, it's Brainiac Diddy and it's the Brainiac Diddy.
What the fuck?
No,
topical.
No.
Shut out.
What a curse.
Supervillain.
No.
Not the Brainiac Diddy. No.
But yeah,
But it's filled entirely with fucking. Whatever, it's just Candor, but Biggie's
baby oil.
in it.
Yeah.
Biggie Smalls is in it.
I'll
Anyway.
say this, Brainiac Diddy, that's no diggity right there.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Sorry, Rein, go
So
ahead.
while I imagine the book explores, the themes of like patriarchal stuff and like in the ethics of science and all that much deeper, I think the mood and atmosphere and the real emotional heart you get through Frankenstein's monster really is really what I think makes this movie work and meaningful and all that stuff. So I'll watch it. It's good, both of them. Movie's
fantastic stuff. For the record, what Diddy did was monstrous, and it's a fucking crime that he's getting away with it. I just want to make that clear for the record.
Yeah.
Okay. Sydney, what are your final thoughts on Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein?
I don't have too many more things to say that I haven't already said, but my main takeaway when I watch classic films like this that have such lasting power in our cultural consciousness is I just think about all of the films that have been lost to time that could have potentially been on Frankenstein's level. And I'm grateful that
London After Midnight?
that these types of movies...
I was thinking the same thing, London After Midnight.
That these types of movies exist. No, you're good. I'm grateful that these movies have withstood the test of time, both literally withstanding the test of time and metaphorically with the content of the movies. They really just get better the more we can look back in hindsight about them and where they were at as a culture when the films were made, when the book was written, and where we are now, and just being able to kind of get new messages from things, and how there are certain universalities to mindsets like not feeling like you belong, feeling like an outsider, positions of power and corruption that are still relevant today. It's really special. Bride of Frankenstein is just, she's a diva. I love her. The first movie is important as well, even if it's not a personal, like, I love it. It is very much worth watching. It is very entertaining still. And it is worth it to see the bride. She's the best.
Damn straight. Joe, final thoughts.
All right, so when you're 8 years old, like I was, and you discover...
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that too. But when you're 8 years old, like I once was, if you asked me what my favorite Frankenstein movie was, I would tell you that it was the movie Van Helsing.
There we go!
And it still is, baby! Let's go!
And when my grandma would tell me, oh, but you should watch the original 2 Frankensteins, those movies. They're your grandfather's favorite horror movies. I would just look at her and I go, my grandfather's favorite movies were doo-doo! That was just a half-assed excuse to reference Young Frankenstein again. That 8-year-old me was wrong. Even if he had no idea what fucking Young Frankenstein was at the time.
Van Helsing's incredible.
Van Helsing is incredible, but you know what else is incredible? Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. They've stood the test of time, obviously for a reason. They are fucking incredible. Watch them on a big screen if you can. Movie good. Also, I will end this note on I will end my final thoughts on this note. In a way, and I think Tanner had even mentioned it, Henry Frankenstein in this movie, in both of these movies, he's a dad. And you want to know what Henry Frankenstein is? He is a dad that doesn't rock, baby. Back to
Dads
you, Tanner.
do not rock, baby, in this case, unfortunately.
Hate to see it.
Dad's got to be put on parole. Cody, final thoughts, go.
My final thoughts, I'm going to go straight to the odds. Listen, if you've gotten this far, thank you. But also...
I thought you were about to say I'm sorry.
No. Thank you, and please, go watch old movies. Watch old-ass movies. Because if you're on the website where you can watch a 3-hour video on some topic you're going to forget about tomorrow, when you could be watching a movie that could change your life, but it's in black and white, or it has no music, or it has no audio. These films can still move you to this very day, and they will still move people for generations to come. Frankenstein's proof of that. Bride of Frankenstein is really fucking proof of that. Some of the greatest movies of all time, and might even be the best rendition of Frankenstein. But I am recording this before December 2025 when Del Toro makes Frankenstein. Let's go!
I'm so fucking excited for Del Toro's Frankenstein.
Can't wait.
You know what else I'm excited for? Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride. I'm also really excited for that.
True shit. That's my thoughts. Great movies. Perfect movie.
That's right, folks. You heard it here first. Cody Suisso's official stance is, instead of watching an H-Bomber Guy video, watch Birth of a Nation. Tim, a final thought. Go.
I already went.
Don't do that.
Wow,
Don't do that.
Cody, wow.
Wait, Tim already went?
I was the first one.
No!
Wait, who hasn't went? Just me?
You!
Frankenstein is a great movie. I'm sorry I didn't talk about it much. I honestly only did this because I wanted to talk about Bride of Frankenstein, but it felt wrong to talk about Bride of Frankenstein without at least acknowledging the first one. As far as the first one goes, I'm just going to tell you guys this. January 1st, 2026, Copyright on the makeup expires.
Oh.
Let's go.
Frankenstein design, copyright expires next year. So just putting that out there if we want to have any plans. Also, it sounds like, I don't know if Del Toro's going to do the design. I guess he's going to do his own thing. I would hope he does. It sounds like he's trying to adapt the book more, honestly, from what little I've gleaned from the trailer. It sounds like he's really trying to adapt the book. While Maggie Gyllenhaal's Bride of Frankenstein, the Frankenstein monster has face tattoos. Kind of cool. Kind of interesting. We'll see where it goes. I trust Maggie. You will watch The Lost Daughter. Good picture. Lost Daughter? No, it's Lost Daughter. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. We really appreciate it. If you are listening on any of the audio platforms we're on, thank you so much for listening. How about you go down and leave us a review? It helps boost us in the algorithm or something. I don't know. I just work here. And if you're listening, how about you mosey on down over to our Patreon, where the $5 tier gets you access to commentary tracks. We haven't released one in a while. That's on me. I'm sorry. My bad. I'll make sure in one of these upcoming months we record a lot at once to make up for that. And the $10 tier gets you access to a shout at the end of episodes. So my mom, Tanya Craft, thank you so very much for giving us $10 a month, and by extension me. You're subsidizing this whole enterprise. Thank you. Thanks, mommy. Anyway, and if you want to give us money in a different way, how about you head on over to bombsquadproductions.shop. We got t-shirts, we got some hats, we got posters, we got some magnets, we got some stickers. We do not have pants yet, but trust me, they're in the works. I have some designs. Cody has seen these designs.
They're pants
terrifying.
Yeah.
Cody has seen the bikini design.
Oh dear God.
Bikini bad.
Yeah, Cody has seen the bikini design that used my face instead of our logo.
These secrets! Shut up!
It was horrifying. It was his idea. It was his idea.
No.
This episode's getting Cody canceled. Anyway.
More than Jaws? What the fuck?
Yeah, well, you just had opinions on Jaws. You're advocating for Birth of the Nation on this
No!
episode.
That movie sucks ass!
You're just putting words in his mouth now.
No!
No, I heard him say it word for word.
No.
Anyway,
That's slander.
and if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so very much for tuning in. How about you mosey on down into the comment section below and let us know. What do you think of Frankenstein? What do you think of Bride of Frankenstein? Which one is your favorite? What's your favorite Frankenstein movie? Have you read the Frankenstein novel? What's your favorite classic Universal monster movie, or your classic Universal monster movie, or movie? What's your favorite classic Universal monster shot? Stop telling people where I'm stealing my joke. What's your favorite classic Universal monster shot, or alternatively cum shot? Comment below and let me know that. And finally, comment below and let me know, why does Cody want you to watch Birth of a Nation so badly? Comment below and let me know.
Watch Charlie Chaplin's The Circus. Don't listen to this guy.
Hit the like button so we know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so we know how much you love us. Hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching. Our little streak of horror movies is over, because next week we are talking about a Christopher Nolan movie. That's right, we are talking about Inception. Should be a lot of fun. I'll see you then. But I'm gonna see you guys later, because I'm seeing Superman in less than 24 hours.
Shut the fuck up! That was roommates. If you heard that, that was me doing a bit. I'm not actually angry. If anyone heard that.
All right, bye.
They slid my ticket across the table and I said, sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl.